Hey, good morning, folks. How are you today? Excellent. Hey, we got half of the room looking up here. Let's see if we can catch the other half. Good morning. Welcome to the State of Small Business. My name is Joe Marchese. I am a small business owner here in Savannah. I'd like to introduce a good friend of mine, Marjorie Young. She is also a small business owner in Savannah.
And I'm also a SCORE volunteer. So thank you so much. I just love seeing this room full of everybody. It's like old home week. It's like hello, hello, hello. Anyhow, we're so ready for a wonderful lineup of speed data today. I'm kidding. We've got some really good information, and from what I've heard, the information is very positive for our area. So let's talk about why we got this going.
Well, unfortunately, Marjorie and I ambushed Dr. Michael Toma. Well, that's what the newspaper said. It really wasn't that. What we asked him was...
Yes, it was.
All right, well, we cornered him against the stage, and we said, listen, our question is, if 80% of the small business in Georgia, of business in Georgia is small business, where's our slide in your presentation? He had a great answer. He said, I don't have defensible data. And Marjorie and I thought about it. We connected Dr. Toma to some people in Savannah that had data, and now he set up some reporting systems to be able to collate that data and share it back with you all. So we thought it was so important that last year we had our first State of Small Business, and we had probably 200 people?
No, it was about 140.
We had 140 people.
At Savannah Mall.
At the Savannah Mall. They were gracious enough to donate a room.
Standing room only.
Yep, we filled it up along the back room. So this year we moved it here to the Trade Center, and we're just excited to see people that are investing their time in their community. So if you can right now, just give yourself a round of applause for making time in your day.
Yay, small business.
All right, Marjorie mentioned that this is speed data. Each of the panelists has 3 minutes. And what we think, the way we look at this is they're going to give you their slice of the pie. So Marshall Tuck's going to speak to us. I don't know whether I need to buy my next G650, but I put it in next year's budget. But I do need to know whether I should buy that next F-150 and put 2 guys in it driving around with some hand tools. So everybody's going to give you a slice of the pie, and then what we'd like is some feedback from you guys as to which slices of the pie are applicable to your small business. And that way we can kind of manage who we have speaking for you next year. So tell us what you need to know, tell us how we can share that information with you, and we'll try to get it up here. All right, so it's 3 minutes, and...
I want to mention, how many of you all have a Twitter account? If you guys could tweet at #SavScore, the benchmarks that are, that you think are important, that would be really helpful, because it was very easy to go back to last year's hashtags and just track what they were saying last year. So again, it's #SavScore on Twitter. And we are going to be following the book, the pamphlet, with the lineup of the speakers. The other thing is, did everybody get a lunch? Oh no, we've got plenty left. Okay, I was going to say, if we had so many people RSVP, the room is set for 200, and we sold out, or we didn't sell out, it's free, but if you didn't get a lunch, we'll figure out a time to do a pizza party or something at SCORE to make it up, but it looks like there's enough. So, what else do we need to tell them? Turn off your cell phones, if you haven't already. I want to thank the City of Savannah. They are filming this. They will be running this on Channel 8 over and over and over again. We are also live streaming right now, and it will be recorded, and you'll be able to go back and see it online too.
And they can see the live stream. If you want to share the link to the live stream, it is on SCORE's website.
On the SCORE's Facebook.
Oh, sorry. On SCORE's Facebook page, there is a link to the live stream.
So
that's it.
Okay, we're going to get ready to introduce our sponsors right now. So you want to introduce Wells Fargo?
Yeah, we're very pleased to thank Wells Fargo for being a sponsor this year.
Title sponsor.
And they are the title sponsor of the event. And here to tell you a little bit more about Wells Fargo is Rob Sparks. Rob?
Well, if the experts have 3 minutes, then I have probably 30 seconds. Good morning. Welcome to the SCORE State of Small Business event. My name is Rob Sparks. I'm a business banker with Wells Fargo, and I'm honored to be here representing Wells Fargo today. Wells Fargo is a proud sponsor of this event, as you just heard, and we have a great relationship with SCORE, especially here locally in Savannah. Small businesses are vital to the overall health of our economy. So it's important that we work together to educate entrepreneurs and give them the resources they need to succeed. And that's what this event is all about. Something we think our small business owners in Savannah need is to understand the climate and outlook of the local community, here specifically, and not just the state and national level. So today we'll have the opportunity to hear from different experts who will be able to give you a sense of the small state here locally. In addition to that, we would like to help you with any questions that you may have. Starting and running a business can be very overwhelming. We know that. We have 20 small business specialists here today on hand from Wells Fargo to help. So please stick around and ask any questions, or if you'd like any of our advice, we've got you pretty much cornered. So I think we blocked the exit, so you'll have to meet us on the way out. Wells Fargo is committed to small business. We are proud to say that we just achieved the ranking of #1 SBA lender in the state of Georgia, and that's a ranking that we've had nationally for the last 5 years. So what does that mean for Savannah, and what does that mean for you? Well, we're a coast-to-coast bank, but we are very local, and I mean that. We serve our customers here locally. We make a lot of our decisions here locally, and I can tell you that we have dedicated small business specialists in each one of our bank stores. We refer to our branches as stores. So if you ever need any help, or if you ever need anything from the business side, the banking side, just step into one of our branches and we can help you. We'll have somebody there that's specialized and ready to help. When businesses think of banks, they think of credit, but there's much more that businesses need than just credit to run. And every small business has different needs, and we understand that. We understand that there's different life cycles, from seed to startup to maturity. And every one thing that each one of those phases has in common, and every business has in common, is cash flow. And cash is king. We know that, and we can help you there. So thank you again. We appreciate the opportunity to be a sponsor. We hope you get a lot out of today. We encourage you to get to know each other. We encourage you to ask lots of questions. So thank you again.
Rob, thank you so much. Wells Fargo is a huge small business supporter. They are also going to be sponsoring our speed mentoring event coming up very soon next month. So now I would like to introduce Gary Johnson. He is our current president of SCORE. Gary?
Thank you, Marjorie. Well, it's my pleasure to welcome all of you here today, and this is one of the biggest turnouts we've ever had for a SCORE event. For a little background on SCORE, SCORE has been... Yeah. Little background on SCORE. Yeah, that sounds better. I can hear it coming back. SCORE has been in business since 1964. We've been the premier small business mentoring service, and we're happy to say we are celebrating our 50th anniversary this year. SCORE volunteers provide free mentoring service to small businesses in a wide range of business topics, anything from writing a business plan to arranging funding, managing cash flow, developing marketing programs, and so forth. Our services are all free. We define our specialty as small business, which we define as less than 50 employees or less, and sales under $2 million. That's our market demographic. We have over 340 chapters nationwide. Our chapter here in Savannah, we have 20 mentors, 20 volunteers here to serve you. And we do it in several ways, one being face-to-face mentoring. We have appointments at our office at the Small Business Resource Center. We also have workshops and seminars like we we're having here today, and we also offer online mentoring through our website. We have several of our SCORE mentors here today, and I'd like to have you stand with the SCORE mentors that are attending today. Please stand, be recognized. Thank you very much, and we hope you find this conference today helpful in planning and running your business, and we hope to see you soon. Thank you.
Okay, now we would like to thank our gold sponsors. Number one being Joe Marchese right here. So thank you, Joe.
You're welcome.
Is anybody here from the Savannah Economic Development Authority? We want to thank CEDA for being a sponsor. Thank you.
Thank you.
St. Andrews. Anybody here from St. Andrews? I know Christy is. She's an alum, aren't you? Yay.
And also Weiner, Shearhouse, Whites, Greenberg, and Shaw, LLP. Thank you very much.
And MSK Commercial Services, thank you very much for being a gold sponsor. Programs, sponsorships like this allow us to have events that can help small businesses grow, and that's right up the line with SCORE and our mission. So thank you for all our sponsors. Okay, now we're going to have Lou come up and...
You know, today I think this is a testament to how the vitality of our small business in Savannah. You know, Marjorie said that they had 200 people that, I mean, literally signed up for this as soon as she put it up. So today is just an awesome day. And for me to be up here to welcome these, our elected officials as well, I want to just thank Marjorie and Joe for all the hard work, and especially SCORE. So let's give them a round of applause. First, we'd like to call up to the stage State Senator Buddy Carter, who represents parts of Chatham and all of Bryan and Liberty counties in the Georgia General Assembly. He's a small business owner and pharmacist who owns 3 independent pharmacies with locations in Pooler, Rincon, and Garden City, employing over 19 people. Please welcome Buddy Carter.
Thank you, Roll. Good morning. The politicians are to follow. I'm not a politician, okay? So but you know, I was looking at this, and I was talking to Chuck Mitchell just a second ago. I'm kind of glad they didn't ask me to speak. Can you imagine asking a politician to limit their remarks to 3 minutes? I mean, come on, guys, that's impossible. But I do want to thank you for having me here today, and want to thank you for being here. As Rule said, I am a small business owner myself. In fact, on November 28th of 1988, I opened my first drugstore. And it was a very special time for me, and I was very proud. It was a lifelong dream. I'd set my goal to open up my own store by the time I was 30 years old. I missed it by a month and a half, but I still made it. After the first 2 banks turned me down for a loan, I was finally able to convince the 3rd bank to make a loan to me, and they did. I was able to get started thanks to the Solomon's family, who at that time had a drug wholesale company here and extended me a line of credit for my inventory. And I was able to grow that business, and I was able to eventually pay off my debt, so I was very proud of that. And like you, that entrepreneurial spirit is still alive. And let me thank you. For 25 and a half years I've been in business. I'm very proud of that. Now guys, I know whatever business you're in, that's tough, but try being an independent retail pharmacy. Now you want to talk about swimming with sharks. You know, I get told a lot, well, congratulations on the growth in Pooler. You were mayor of Pooler and set the stage and the environment for that growth. And I had a lot of help, and a lot of people played an important role in that. But it is indeed very satisfying to see that growth in the city of Pooler. However, my wife reminds me quite often, and honey, 10 years ago in Pooler there were 2 drugstores, now there are 10. And I always keep that in mind whenever I think about that, but it is tough out there. I know it's tough for small businesses. I live it every day. I lived it this morning. Once I got up, went to my store, swept out front, picked up the trash out front, the things that small business owners do, just like what you do. But folks, let me encourage you, And let me really encourage you to keep up the fight. It is important. You know, from a government standpoint, in the state of Georgia, we've always tried to stay out of your way, to make it possible for you to succeed, to make it possible for you to flourish, and to have a successful business, and that's what we want to do. Thank you for what you do. Keep up the fight, and thank you for being here today and your support of small business all over the state of Georgia, and especially in the city of Savannah. Thank you.
And last, but also most importantly, you know, we had a mayoral roundtable where we called in some of the city's business leaders to come and talk to the city of Savannah about some of the issues and concerns that they had with this. And we put a comprehensive report together of not only issues that we thought pertained, but also things that we could do to fix them. One of the largest champions of that was our Mayor Pro Tem, Van Johnson. So we want to wish him we're going to have him come up and speak about that a little bit, and here he is.
Thank you and good morning. I don't know who Senator Carter was talking about when he said politicians. I don't see any here. I don't see my face on TV and commercials, so I don't know. But I do bring you greetings on behalf of our Mayor Edna Branch Jackson and the members of the Savannah City Council, which I'm blessed to serve as your Mayor Pro Tem. And I am also a business owner, a recovering politician as well. This is certainly important for a variety of reasons, and I will be less than 3 minutes. Because the statistics will show that although across the country, when cities were bottoming out, the city of Savannah relatively was unscathed. And that was because of the strength of small businesses, because of the strength of you, that allowed Savannah and the diversity of our small businesses, that allowed us to really weather storms that other cities could not survive. And that is why we count ourselves happy to be friends of SCORE. Matter of fact, we consider ourselves to be in a relationship with SCORE because we realize that it's that relationship, it's that dialogue that's going to continue to help us to not be in your way, but continue to create ways to assist you because we realize which side our bread has been buttered on. It's certainly a diversity of businesses, but it's also the small businesses. And so we are committed to you in that endeavor, committed to that dialogue, committed to that relationship. And we have a bunch of City of Savannah employees here. Y'all stand up and wave, City of Savannah folks, that are charged to help us to maintain that momentum and that are charged to continue to hear from you and listen to you. So again, we are very, very glad to be here, and we're interested in hearing the dialogue. God bless and thank you so much.
One quick plug, we have our Downtown Business Association, our next luncheon, we will have Greg Parker speaking and giving a report on the mayoral roundtable. So we look forward to seeing you there. And also I'd like to thank Taffney Young and Miss Margaret Williams for their hard work with that mayoral roundtable. Thank y'all very much.
We had a written agenda, and there is one gold sponsor that we forgot to thank. And I'd like to thank Marjorie Young.
I'm not a gold sponsor. Oh, no.
Sorry, she's on the back page, so we're going to call her a gold sponsor because this whole presentation grew out of a need. It wasn't something that we planned. It was something that we saw as a need, and the two of us got together and put a little bit of money into it to get it started. So it's not that we're here because it was pre-planned. We're here because we saw a need and we addressed the need, and that's what small business owners do every day. You sweep the floor. You know, you wash the windows, you make sure that things are right for your clients.
It's not 9 to 5.
No, it's not 9 to 5.
Isn't it? This is my intern, Cynthia Wright. She is, she's actually coming on with us full time next month, but she knows it's not 9 to 5. She's working 7 days a week. Anyhow, before we get going, I want to introduce Noah. He is also a SCORE mentor. He is going to be our timer. So he has this iPad, and the speakers will see it, and at 3 minutes, it will make a very loud noise. So everybody's very prepared that you have 3 minutes. This is speed data.
Michael Toma, he is the director for the Center of Regional Analysis at Armstrong Atlantic State University, and he's going to give us his small business snapshot.
Thank you. All right. I'm on the clock, I better hurry. All right, so generally speaking, the small business climate reflects what's going on in terms of the greater Savannah area economy. Things have been improving through most of 2013. We are expecting to see additional growth through 2014. So you think about rising tide lifting all boats. It also lifts small business boats as well. What we did was, with this data system that we have set up, is take a look at the definition of small businesses that is consistent with what SCORE is using, those businesses smaller than 50 employees with their establishments. So you see, and I'm not going to read the numbers to you, they are on the page for the data information I've provided here for small businesses, those less than 50. Through most of 2012, about 6 major economic sectors in our metropolitan area, our 3-county metro area, accounted for job growth of about 2,000 jobs. This is small business growth. Among those 6 sectors, there were 261 startups that in and of themselves, those 261 startups created about 1,800 jobs in and of themselves. Of small businesses that were existing, that were fewer of 50 employees, 30 of them grew into organizations that were larger than 50, so we're seeing small business growth. So what we've got here is a vibrant small business community that continues to expand and continues to grow. The areas that experience the most significant net growth, as you know, small business is a very risky operation, and we're seeing businesses kind of percolate up, and then some businesses kind of slack off and go away sometimes. Small business is a risky proposition. What we see on net, adding up all the pluses, adding up all the minuses, through 2012, and the climate in 2013 was similar to what we saw in 2012. We had 1,000 jobs, roughly 1,000 jobs were created on net by businesses that employed fewer than 50 workers. In our metro area, that constituted about 27% of the 3,600 jobs that were created in total in our metro area. So 27% of our new jobs, net jobs that were created in our metro area during 2012 were created at businesses employing fewer than 50 people. And the sectors where that growth was most prevalent are areas that you would typically expect to exceed. That's related to growth in our tourism and hospitality industry. Employment growth in small businesses expanded there. Retail trade opportunities grew as well. So you can imagine like small boutique business types in the downtown area. Those popped up and continue to experience growth in 2012. And small businesses and health services also expanded on a net basis in 2012. And that's my story.
Wow. Thank you. He had 7 seconds left to go. Thank you, Dr. Toma. Those are good numbers. Yay. Yay. Okay, next we have Cindy Landolt, Revenue Director with the City of Savannah. Topic, local growth. Welcome, Cindy.
Good morning. As you can see from my report, the City of Savannah's Revenue Department is responsible for a variety of things. Many of them are focused on businesses. Today, I'd like to take a look at a few of the statistics that are shown in that report. Of approximately 7,300 businesses operating in the City of Savannah in 2013, nearly 32% reported gross receipts of $30,000 or less. Another 30% reported gross receipts between $30,000 and $500,000. That's about 62% of the businesses located in the City of Savannah that are grossing $500,000 or less. Additionally, about 75% of businesses who reported their numbers of employees said they had 10 or fewer employees. So based on this information, it appears that more than half of the businesses in the city could definitely be considered small business. More than that, considering when you look at SCORE's definition of small businesses. What an impact on the city's economy. These numbers show really how important small businesses are to the city. The charts in my report on tax revenue, business tax revenues and alcohol license fees also show steady upward movement over the last 3 years. Businesses are growing and new businesses are being started. In 2013, our records indicate that over 500 businesses paid a business tax for the first time in 2013. These numbers really illustrate a healthy and growing economy. All of these indicators show that the economy is moving in the right direction and business is good and getting better. It's a great time for small businesses. At the Revenue Department, we want to help small businesses. We want to work with you to help you understand the processes and help you get through things and make it as easy as it can be. This is a partnership. Small businesses are important to the city and are a vital part of our economy. We want to help you be successful. Please let us know if you have questions or if we can help you in any way. Thank you.
So sometimes when you think about Gulfstream, you think, that's not small business. But Gulfstream has stood up in front of us many times and said that small business is the lifeblood of Gulfstream. And there are 1,243 suppliers in your supply chain that are small businesses. So we're very pleased today to have Marshall Tuck here from Gulfstream to explain what they're doing here in the local area. Come on up here, Marshall. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Gulfstream is a subsidiary of General Dynamics, and both Gulfstream and General Dynamics are financially strong as we soar into 2014. Within the past 3 years, Gulfstream procurements have increased from $535 million to over $900 million with small business. The overall procurement spend has increased 61% in the past 3 years. In addition, the small business spend has increased 72% above the normal spend. The growth is attributed to the rebounding worldwide economy, the successful foresight and leadership of our leadership team, enhanced by the powerful workforce and the benefits from our great small businesses. Gulfstream's spend in the coastal area, and that includes Georgia, Florida, and Georgia, Florida, and South Carolina, exceeds $271 million. In Georgia, the small business spend exceeds $192 million. In Savannah area alone, we spend over $60 million a year with small businesses. Another important impact is the work performed by our sub-tier suppliers. Although I don't have a real valid tracking mechanism, I see from the suppliers that provide me information, $60 million that are sub-tier supplier work going on at Gulfstream by the suppliers working for large businesses and other businesses within Gulfstream. I'm pleased to report that Gulfstream procurements have increased significantly, and additionally, we've added 2,500 jobs at Gulfstream in the last 3 years, and the growth of new businesses which come from that are in construction, entertainment, food and beverage, and many more within the Savannah area. Gulfstream's success comes from the leadership and the people working inside Gulfstream. It's easy to succeed when top management supports our small business and is vested in our small business community by their efforts and their work. In conclusion, the community appears strong, the future is bright, and with help from the small business community, look forward to another 60 years at Gulfstream in Savannah. Thank you.
That's wonderful news. And for you small business.
And lunch.
33 people reported that they had owned and operate a high-tech startup in Savannah. Together, these companies employ over 300 workers. As reflected in the national statistics, high-tech companies pay very well. In Savannah, the average pay for all of the workers in these companies, not just the technical workers, is far in excess of the market at $56,808 annually. So high-tech companies can and do thrive and survive here in Savannah. However, unfortunately, this is not a benchmark study. This is a baseline. We sit here today roughly a decade behind Charleston. Today, Charleston has 9 technology incubators, 7 angel investment groups. They, in this calendar year, will hire 3,000 technology workers, high-paying jobs, just in this year alone. Nationally, high-tech jobs are repeatedly recognized by the Kaufman Foundation and others as the primary driver for growing economies. Enrico Moretti at the University of California reports that for every one high-tech job, 5 other non-related jobs are built in the community. It takes 3 things: entrepreneurial spirit, access to capital, and technology talent. According to our survey and the show out in this room, we have great entrepreneurial spirit in Savannah. Way to go. Kudos to you. Savannah can also lead in the access to capital market, and there are 4 reasons. The first is that our cost of living is low and cloud computing continually decreases the cost of starting a high-tech company. Second, the Chronicle of Philanthropy reports that Savannah is already in the top 2% in charitable giving. Let's start investing in our future. The third is that Georgia's digital tax credits are available to each of you, and as Bloomberg said, fourth, Georgia and Kansas are the only states that beat the Securities and Exchange the SEC, when it came to crowdfunding laws. So today, you can invest in a local Kickstarter campaign. I've saved the best for last, and I need to ask you a question. That's about technology talent. Have any of you ever eaten one of these? Raise your hand if you have. This is a carrot. Thank you. Keep your hand up if you run a carrot farm. Raising a carrot farm? Raising someone who will? Similarly, I ask you that you have bothered to introduce yourself to carrots as a way of introduction to health. Please consider whether you want to be Bill Gates or Steve Jobs. That may not be the case. But today is the day to sign up for CodeAcademy.com, Coder Dojo, Tinker, and any other one of these free, readily available resources that will allow us to have literacy in technology. Let's be not just consumers of digital media, but creators. You may.
All right, so we need more high-tech jobs in Savannah, and we need more angel investors. So if you are an angel investor, invest here in the community. Don't just be a consumer of carrots, be a planter of carrots. We love show and tell. Our next speaker is Brian Davis. He is the manager of the Savannah Career Center at the Department of Labor, and he is going to talk about local labor statistics. Brian?
Thank you so much. It's an honor and a pleasure to be here. As we all know, small business is the backbone of our country. So thank you for all you do. Savannah's unemployment rate decreased to 6.6% in February, down 0.3 of a percentage point from 6.9% in January. The rate was 7.9% in February a year ago. So we are doing much, much better. The rate declined because Savannah employers created 1,600 new jobs and reduced the number of layoffs by 53.8%. That's outstanding. The number of jobs increased to 1,061,500 in February, up 1% from 159,900 in January. The job gains came mostly in professional and business services and state and local government. Over the year, the number of jobs increased by 3,900 or 2.5% from 157,600 in February of 2013. Most of the increase came in professional and business services and leisure and hospitality. There were 960 new claims for unemployment insurance filed in February, a drop of 1,119 from 2,079 in January. So we are seeing a lot less unemployment insurance claims in our office than we have in a very long time. Most of the decline in claims came in trade, transportation, and warehousing. We're doing much better in those areas. Administrative and support services, and accommodation and food services. There were 1,198 claims in February of 2013. I see I'm running low on time. I've been with the Department of Labor for 18 years. Before that, I was with the private sector for 10 years. And I know how tough it is to work in the private sector, and you have to watch your bottom line. There are a lot of ways to do that. 3 tips in helping to reduce your employer liability. Hire the right person. Go with your gut. Document, document, document. You cannot document enough. We have a lot of hearings at the Department of Labor where the employers don't have documentation. Everything is verbal, everything is hearsay, everything has to be documented. Tardiness, absenteeism, violation of company policy, document everything. And take progressive corrective action measures and document the reason for those actions. There's a lot of paperwork involved, but you have to do it. I have to do it as well. We have a new employer hotline. If you all have any questions regarding hearings, appeals, partial claims, taxes, and benefit charges, the number is 1-855-436-7365. I have gone over, but the federal bonding plan, the federal bonding program, and the work opportunity tax credit are 2 huge incentives that you can get off of your bottom line. You're probably hiring these folks anyway, so please go on our website, employeegeorgia.com, look up WOTC and federal bonding off of our forms and publications, or please call me or email me at my office. I'm always here for you. Thank you so much.
So more good news. Very good. Okay, next we have Susanne Toney, Assistant Professor of Economics at the College of Business at Savannah State University. Please welcome Susanne. Where are you? Oh, there she is. I also have to tell you, she is the reason that we named this event the State of Small Business. I called her last year and said, I have to figure out what to name this. And she helped me figure it out, so thank you.
All right, thank you. It was around the time of the State of the Union address, so I had it on my mind. So that's how I came up with it. Okay. Okay, good afternoon. I'm going to speak a little bit about some of the key economic indicators. As you probably know, the U.S. is in a period of slow recovery. A little bit closer? Okay. Better?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, as you know, the U.S. is in a period of slow recovery. We're really concerned about the recovery because we were starting to see increases in GDP, but not increases in employment. So our unemployment rates were still relatively high, even though we were seeing improvements in output. But the good news is that we're catching up with our unemployment rates dropping. So we're seeing that even in Savannah. So what I wanted to do with my analysis is take a look not only at Savannah, but compare it to the state of Georgia, and then also compare it to some of the national data that we have. So if you look at the data that we have for Georgia, we see that unemployment rates have come down. So from 2012, we had 9.2% unemployed. So of those people that were willing and able to find jobs, 9.2% of them within the Savannah metropolitan area weren't able to find jobs in 2012. But we're seeing that in 2013. My data shows that the unemployment rate dropped to 8.7, and now it's currently at 6.6%, which is really a big improvement. But if we compare that to some of the U.S. Trends, we're seeing that U.S. Unemployment rates are at 6.7%, so we're beating the U.S. national averages. Also, if you look at the state of Georgia, we're at 7.1%, so we're seeing a nice comparison there, and the Savannah MSA is really growing compared to the national levels and also to the state of Georgia levels, which is really great news. The other things I looked at were real GMP. So you may see on the news about real GDP, gross domestic output. But for metropolitan areas, we look at GMP, so it's gross metropolitan product. So looking at that, we can see that from 2012, we had $14.1 billion in output created in the Savannah metropolitan area. 2013, we had $14.3 billion, so we see an increase there. But we have a really nice increase from 2013 to current stage of 2014 of $14.8 billion in real GMP. So the level of output is really important because as we're producing more, we'll see that in general, incomes will be increasing too, which has implications for small businesses. So if more people are working, incomes are rising, we find that the price level is relatively steady, more people will be able to afford to buy the products and services that have been produced here in the metropolitan area. So it's really great news for Savannah small businesses. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That is great news. I really want to thank our speakers for keeping to the time limit. That is just gratifying to see. Thank you very much. At this point, I'd like to introduce Kyle Hensel. Kyle's with the Small Business Development Corporation Center, and a great asset to local business. If you have business questions, here is a award-winning consultant that's at your fingertips. So if you do not know this gentleman, come up and meet him, get a card, and take advantages of the services that his department offers. Kyle?
He's also 1 in 5 people across the United States that is Google certified.
As a trainer.
As a trainer. I mean, we've got these types of resources here in Savannah. So, Kyle?
No matter what I do, Marjorie will always say that, no matter what I do. My name is Kyle Hensel. I'm with the University of Georgia Small Business Development Center, and I am privileged to work daily with business owners in the Savannah area, helping them grow their businesses. And what I'm going to talk to you about today is what happens when you get help, whether it's with SCORE or with the SBDC, what you can expect to happen, whether it's with financing or getting help with marketing, procurement, or any other area. So first off, if you do receive help from either SCORE or SBDC, you can actually expect a sales increase of 9.2% over other companies that do not have any help that they are getting along the way. Also, people that are getting help with counseling increase their employees by 13.4% overall over those people that do not. And keep in mind, this is people that are starting a small business as well as people that are trying to grow their existing one. So it is a combination of both of the above. Last year, we actually helped a lot of people get funding. In all, $155 million in funding was assisted small business owners in the state of Georgia. That is almost double the amount of an average year. So small business owners are getting more funding than they have in the past. So we are seeing a great increase in that. But one thing that's also more important is if you work with a mentor for more than 5 hours, meaning a long-term client that you're working with, just wanted to give you a couple statistics. Number one, our clients that we saw that 5 or more hours of had 16.8% increase in sales over the average business in Georgia that was just 4.4%. Also, if you're looking at employment growth, people that worked with the SBDC for over 5 hours got a 13.5% increase in employees, while average around the state was 1.4%. So the more that you do get assistance, whether it is through SCORE or whether it is through SBDC, you can expect results to actually happen. So if you have not worked with a SCORE mentor or with the University of Georgia SBDC, we highly recommend that you contact us and let us help you grow your business overall. Thanks.
Thank you, Kyle. I'm a huge supporter of SBDC and SCORE. Back in 1995 when I started my company, I contacted SCORE and I contacted Lynn Voss at SBDC. And even though I'm a mentor with SCORE, I also still receive mentoring. It's that important. Okay, thank you. Next we have Tony O'Reilly, President of the Small Business Assistance Corporation. Topic, business access to capital in the Savannah region. Thank you, Tony.
Thank you, Marjorie. Thank you very much for having me today, and glad to be here for SBAC. We're a nonprofit financial intermediary that makes business loans. We use funds made available from the City of Savannah, Department of Treasury, the U.S. Small Business Administration, and a variety of other places. We're an alternative lender, but we do partner with our banks. As we've all heard, things are better. Things are back pre-recession levels. That's a good thing, and that means things are starting to percolate. You're going to need money. Then the question is there money out there to get? I guess the overall answer is yes. Is it looser than it was in 2007? Yes. Is it low cost? Yes. These are all very positive things that if you need to borrow money within the next 6 months, you're going to see that the 21 banks that we have in our area are offering low rates, decent terms, and want to be your friend. Unfortunately, they're all kind of swimming upstream right now. That means they're looking for bigger deals, and we specialize in the smaller stuff. Our average loan is $122,000, but we partner with our banks. What the whole thing right now is that you're going to get low cost of capital. You've got lots of options to work with, lots of options out there to work with and to build your relationships with. But as Buddy Carter has already said, first one says no. Don't take it as the absolute. There's more places to go and to get it. We can see that 60% of our deals are with banks. So banks right now are caught up in a lot of regulatory compliance that's new to them. They're all working hard trying to figure out how can I get this money out with this new demand that's going to be coming, because you're going to need money. You're going to need a line of credit. You're going to need a small term loan, something like that new truck, the new fryers, those kinds of things. So we're seeing it in our portfolio. You can see our charts. It is starting to percolate for us too, and startups are actually coming back. We saw a lot in 2010, but now we're and the drop off, and now we're starting to they are starting to come back, and we call these quality starts. If I'm going to leave you with any tips, I would say that think about alternative lenders, but start building. If you're thinking about financing something in your business, start building your relationships now. You need to have somebody advocating for you inside the bank. So do that. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. That was excellent. So money is available. In fact, there's a money guy right up here named Rob Sparks. So if you need to talk to him. Our next speaker will be Tammy Blaha. She is the Vice President of Marketing and Development at Goodwill. Goodwill in the Savannah area, I believe, has added 17 new locations, and they've added 300 employees. So they're doing a great job. They take your donated goods and they help anyone with a barrier to entry. We have hired employees through Goodwill. They are a great partner. And in fact, next Friday, we are doing our 5th annual used unwanted electronics drive. It's in the Earth Day area. Yesterday was Earth Day. But if you have any used electronics, we'll be on Highway 80 in Pooler under a big red and white tent with a truck from Goodwill, and we've kept over 10,000 pounds of electronics out of the landfill. So Goodwill is a great partner in a lot of different ways, including helping employees with barriers to entry get employed in the Savannah area. So it's my pleasure to introduce Tammy.
Hi, thank you for having me here. As the Savannah economy continues to expand, small businesses are probably finding themselves in need of a qualified workforce. I'm sure many of you are looking for a few good people, and that can contribute to your business success. Goodwill specializes in identifying and developing a reliable workforce. It is and it has been our mission for nearly 50 years to assist people with disabilities and other barriers to find and retain employment. How do we do that? We're able to support this mission through our diverse lines of business that bring in not only the revenue, but provide employment and training opportunities for the individuals that we're serving in our mission services. Did you know, for example, that G-Force Technology produces insulation for Gulfstream aircrafts? Individuals employed here have an opportunity to learn and fine-tune their manufacturing skills. Goodwill also has a staffing agency, G-Star Staffing, which specializes in temporary to permanent hire positions, primarily in the hospitality industry, but recently we landed a contract at the Brunswick Port with International Auto Processing to assist with processing vehicles as they come off the ship. We offer small businesses job-ready employees and take out all the hassles involved in your hiring process. We do the work for you, including the background checks and the drug tests. We have numerous janitorial contracts with federal, state, county, city, and commercial businesses, allowing individuals to learn janitorial and maintenance skills while earning a paycheck. In addition to janitorial contracts, we have started a landscaping business available to individuals and businesses who don't want to have to worry about mowing, trimming, edging, and all that outdoor cleanup. Goodwill does the work, and you can feel good because you're contributing to the mission of Goodwill by putting people to work. Of course, when people think of Goodwill, many of you think of our retail stores and our donation centers, which, as Joe said, those are the lifeblood, that is the lifeblood of Goodwill. It's a big part of our business, and it supports the majority of our mission. However, they also offer tremendous training opportunities to the people we serve. Everything from learning how to operate a register, sorting, hanging, merchandising, cleaning, and time to foster their customer service skills. As a result of our diversification and growth, Goodwill has increased our revenue by $3.9 million in the last 3 years, and we were able to hire an additional 250 plus employees to assist in supporting our mission of helping people with disabilities or barriers find employment. Last year, we placed 1,672 individuals into employment with an average starting wage of $9.56 through our Job Connection centers. Goodwill of the Coastal Empire is committed to assisting small businesses, whether you hire us to do all of the work for you, as in the case of janitorial or landscaping, or you use our mission services to assist you with a job fair to find the right employee, or you let G-Star Staffing send you the temporary help that you need. We believe in the power of work. Please feel free to contact me if you have any questions or visit our website. Thank you.
Well, great information, Tammy. Thank you. And with the economy improving, you can always look to Goodwill to find an employee. Okay, next we have Speaker Chuck Mitchell with MSK Commercial Realty. Chuck, please welcome Chuck.
Thank you. My job to cover the entire real estate market in 3 minutes is going to be tough, especially when you pull up today and you see all the FEMA trucks outside. This is not going to be a disaster. The commercial real estate market is made up of 3 segments: office, retail, and industrial. And coincidentally, each segment is roughly double the size of the former one. The benchmark number I think I want you to take away is right now we have a little over 82 million square feet represented in those 3 sectors. We have a vacancy rate in those markets of 8.3%, and we're going to see substantial improvements in both of those as we move through 2014. First on the office, the smallest segment, a little under 11 million square feet, vacancy now at 7%. Last year was a year of ups and downs. Some new buildings came on stream, some were shut down, washed out pretty strong though. The biggest news was Great Dane out there at Crossroads with a 103,000 square foot facility. Downtown Savannah, everyone wants to know what's happened in the central business district. We're now a little over $20 a square foot, and lease rates up from $19 last year. On the retail side, this is probably the most exciting segment of the market right now. You're reading about it all in the papers. Roughly 23 million square feet, vacancy at 6.5%, but that's a misleading number. All the big centers, the super malls, the outlet malls, specialty malls, are basically between 0 and 1% vacancy. All the vacancies in the strip centers right now. We're reading the paper about Ben Carter and Steve Tanger out there at Godley Station in Buddy Carter world. They have 400,000 square feet coming in lease space, covered space, another 500,000 square feet in out parcel space. You have the new Dick's, Kroger's downtown, on the Mall Boulevard side and the south side. And then Ben Carter's words, I missed out on Charleston, I'm not going to miss out on Savannah. has plans to acquire, is already well on its way, over 2 dozen buildings on Broughton Street. So we're going to see a major resurgence in that sector. Industrial, kind of the poor stepchild in Savannah. No one pays much attention to it, but it's the biggest dog out there at almost 49 million square feet of space. The vacancy rate now is a little under 10%. That seems high, but in 2010, we were up at almost 30% vacancy as that market became way overbuilt and the economy slowed down and the containers stopped coming in. We are at a point now where with the Savannah River Deepening Project almost hopefully soon to become a reality when the funding is released. I think a lot of players have been sitting on the sidelines waiting for that to become a reality will jump back in. You'll see that sector expand dramatically. Rental rates will come back up from their $3.84 they are right now. And again, that'll see phenomenal growth. Gulfstream's commitment out at the airport continues to be a final testimony to the impact even local businesses can have here and what's happening versus just new. Things to watch in the coming year. You're going to see the central business district explode. Hudson Island may in fact come of age. You look at Charleston, they have Daniel Island, we have Hudson Island. There's no reason it can't be as vibrant and exciting. You'll see more activity out of the mega site, so Mitsubishi has some company out there. I agree with the tech side. R&D is a huge opportunity in this market. We've got to put more emphasis on it, and hopefully we can get some big facilities in here. Finally, you're going to see continued growth on the west side. Godley Station is about done. The next old Branniger IP project is New Hampstead. Watch for that to explode with the new high school in place, and the builder is starting to make commitments there. That's my talk. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mitchell. I like the words explode in growth.
Yeah.
So thanks, Chuck. That's a great report. So it's our pleasure to introduce Christy Lawrence. Christy is a licensed professional engineer with the City of Savannah. And her topic will be, if I had my glasses on, I'd do better. Local growth. So Ms. Christy.
It's a pleasure to be here and support this wonderful event that is supporting small business. I'm going to give you a snapshot into the construction activity in the City of Savannah. We track construction activity within the city limits based on the construction cost or valuation of projects. Valuation is the best way to measure construction activity rather than the number of permits, since no two permits are the same. This would include everything from a $5,000 home renovation to an $18 million hotel development. Prior to the recession in 2007, we permitted projects totaling $258 million, and in 2008, we peaked at $312 million. The recession hit, and in 2009, construction activity dropped down to $171 million. Since 2009, construction activity has been steadily increasing within the City of Savannah, and in 2013, we had a record year and eclipsed the pre-recession peak by permitting a total of $342 million in projects. This was an increase of 9.4% over the 2008 peak. In 2013, we issued over 1,800 building permits, and the top 20 permits in terms of valuation accounted for $192 million of the total construction cost. This means that in 2013, 1% of the total number of permits represented 56% of the total valuation. Many of these projects are visible in our community, such as the Kroger redevelopment on the south side, the Victory Station development, which includes Whole Foods, Savannah Law School downtown, and the Mulberry Apartments in North Godley. Construction work within the city has also shifted to be more commercial than residential. New commercial construction has steadily increased from $40 million in 2009 to $142 million in 2013, while new residential construction has steadily decreased from $88 million in 2007 to $30 million in 2011. Residential has started to recover since 2011 to reach $55 million in 2013. This data shows that our local economy is continuing to strengthen. and that dollars are being spent on new buildings and new facilities, which is great for our local economy and also for small business.
Thank you so much. More good news for Savannah. That's fabulous, fabulous. And all these reports, I would say most of them are very, very positive. Let's give everybody a round of applause for volunteering their time to do these speeches, to type up the reports. And this is a labor of love. All of us are here. All of us up here are volunteers. So now we're going to do the Q&A. We've been given the data. Now we want some feedback from you. We want to get questions from you that these speakers can answer. So we will start. You want to go down on the floor?
On my way.
On your way. Okay.
While I'm walking over there, Rob Davis, I want to thank you too for your work in the mayoral roundtable. I don't know how I forgot you, buddy.
All right, and if you have a question, just raise your hand and Rule and I will come over with the microphone.
Who's this question for?
This is for Dr. Tomo, I think. This is Randy Davidson, Savannah CEO. I'm wondering how you tracked subcontractors and freelancers, and first of all, in some of the data that you do that doesn't necessarily officially report on employment. And also, do you think trends with health insurance reform and things like that will make companies trend more towards hiring freelancers, subcontractors before bringing in full employment?
With respect to the data on employment in small businesses, that distinction is not necessarily made clear, and data is available to us. So looking at data that's generated through the unemployment insurance records, and so it's however the employers are reporting their employees, that's how it's appearing. So if the company employs contractors and aren't reporting for them in the system, then they're not appearing in the data. They might be counted elsewhere as a contractor or individual person.
Hi, I'm Gary Graham, the Grant Front Advisors. I also have a question for Mike. Regarding government spending with local businesses, do you know how much greater the rate of return is if the government spending is with the local business versus the non-local business?
One can make the claim that if the money is spent with local businesses, it's more likely to circulate in the economy as opposed to an outside contractor, and those funds set to leak out of the local economies. What the rate of return is a question that needs to be answered. I cannot tell you that without an additional look at the data.
Would that be a question for next year for your presentation?
It could be.
All right, I'll ask a question of B. B, can you talk about the impact that TEDx has on trying to develop startups in the high-tech industry here in Savannah?
Thank you. So TEDx is related to TED.com. It's TEDx Creative Coast, May 30th. And for us, that is a reach out to the community. High-tech startups are about building the creative genius and turning that into a business, and TEDx is, for the Creative Coast, probably the least directly related to starting up businesses, but it's the most directly related to bringing the community together in an interactive, creative, collaborative forum.
Thank you very much.
What is SCORE's definition of a small business? I heard Mike say that he was tracking under 50 employees, but are there any other parameters that define a small business?
Basically, we use the benchmarks that I said. We call a startup that has 1 to 4 employees, and if they've been in business, file a tax return, then we move them into a small business category where we would use the limit 50 employees. We do that to differentiate from the federal government's definition of 500. And that's where we concentrate in that small business, less than 50 employees.
I've got a question for the audience. What was your favorite benchmark? What stuck out for you? Tina? Wait, can you get the mic on her?
I just said there was a lot of good information shared, and I think that one of the sectors that I'm most interested in learning more about is the high tech. I think that we have a lot of room to grow in that area.
I'd love to see the chamber get a high-tech council on there. That's
I got a
funny.
question for Senator Carter. Senator Carter, would you support a bill that would that would help to alleviate small business inventory? You know, the state of Georgia is the last of 9 states that still collects this bill. It's like an ad valorem tax. Would you support that? And if you would, give us a few words on that, because I'm going to hold you to it next year.
You know, the inventory tax is one of the most regressive taxes that we have in the state. We have worked hard, seriously. And I do feel, I always want to give credit where credit's due. Chairman Ron Stevens, who is Chair of Economic Development, has been aware of this for years and worked diligently to try to remove this. And it has been introduced, it has not passed yet, but we continue to work on that. And you will see that to continue to be one of the hot topics at the Georgia State Legislature.
Buddy, you got my vote.
All right, we have a question here. Well, since you brought that up, the comment earlier was about the business tax, which is one that has always bothered me because it's based on sales revenues. Doesn't matter whether you're profitable. So if you're not profitable and now you're paying an additional tax just on your sales, to me that's kind of onerous to small business.
Thank you, sir.
This question is for me. I'm looking at your profile and your stats on page 4, and on the local education stat, I wanted to ask you, is that in relationship, of course, to high tech? And I appreciate it. Is that in general, and I'm appreciative of determining that stat?
So this was a survey sent out to really mostly responding from high-tech companies in the area, and it was in general. Access to development, we have education. So the local education talent was across the board. It was not specific to development. And you want me to also comment on what that means? I mean, it was really encouraging, actually, to me that some people thought that the local education was excellent. Many felt it was in the middle and had plenty of room for improvement. Is that right? Joe?
This is for Brian. Brian, is there a procedure that we need to use, or can you help us with that procedure to list jobs we have in our company on the Georgia Department of Labor website?
Yes, very good question. Since we were limited to 3 minutes, it was tough to give all that good information out. But yes, the best way to do it, you can do it several different ways. The best way, the fastest way to get your position into our system is to go to our website, employeegeorgia.com. Click on the button that says, I'm trying to think of how to word it. I don't go to the external site very often. I believe it's recruit employees. It is on the right side, middle of our home page. Click on that, follow the directions. Fill in all the required information there, and just click on submit. It will immediately go into our queue. All of the jobs that we get into the office, I have my staff enter them in daily. At the end of the day, I do not want to see any jobs in the queue that we have not entered. And they will be available for folks to see over the internet and come into our office the next day. That's the best way because you'll have a confirmation number the next time you go in. All of your information will be saved there. All you have to do is just change the position title, you know, what the job duties are and everything else, but all of your relevant information will be there. If you're more comfortable with emailing me or giving us a phone call, however you want to do it, whatever's the best way for you, you know. My email address is Brian, B-R-I-A-N, davis@gdol.ga.gov. I'm here and available for anyone. I support the employers. Our job orders has been higher. I started Savannah, June of 2011, and our job orders we have in the system right now, we're sitting at about 583 job orders. Most of those job orders have multiple positions. So that is the highest number I've seen since I've started here. We were floating around 300, 330 over the last few years, but we've got more now in the system than we have in many years. Please give us your requirements, the minimum skills, experience level, everything you're looking to find. And if you ever have any problems with our process, if y'all are not receiving the kind of customers, clientele, applicants that you want, please let me know. I love positive feedback, but I love negative feedback more because that gives me a way, gives me something to do to make our system better. You know, so thank you.
I've got a question for Gary or Brian. What were some of your favorite takeaways with the benchmarks, guys? Joe, can you get a mic on that? Gary was past chair of the Small Business Chamber Council a couple of years ago.
What struck me about Mike's presentation is the number of net jobs that were created by small business, but if you go to the gross number, using your numbers, it's over 80%. So that was quite impressive.
Yeah. You feel good about the economy?
If small business creates over 80% of the jobs in the local economy, I'd say yes.
Good.
For me, since Richmond Hill is kind of built on rooftops, my favorite information was that the improvement in the residential and commercial construction for me. And since I have the microphone, if y'all are interested in partnering with the Richmond Hill Bryan County Chamber and SBDC, UGA's SBDC, we are doing a maximum money class series at the Chamber. You can go to our website or see me afterwards for more information, rhbcchamber.org. You don't have to be a chamber member to attend. We'd love for you to be, but we are doing that May through June. It's a great opportunity for you, as Kyle pointed out, to grow your business. It's their maximum money series.
Thank you. Hey, John Reynolds, RPI Roofing. What do you think about the good news?
My best news, Joe expanded on that, was the word explode.
Yeah. Amen.
Explode.
Amen. Thank you. Anybody else like to share their benchmark, Carol, with Smart Feet?
Ideal Feet.
Ideal Feet?
Yeah. Does anybody want to hear a story? But no, I actually have a question, and I think it's directed mostly to Chuck. At Duran, I didn't hear anything about growth in the south side. A lot of noise about the west side and about downtown, but what's happening on the south side besides highways?
Well, the big thing was the Dick Kroger expansion up there on Mall Boulevard, which is going to revolutionize that part of the town. I think the largest Kroger in the state at this stage. So that is extraordinarily exciting. Big question remains to see what will be happening out there at Savannah Mall and what impact the new outlet Mall of Georgia will have on some of the retailers in that location.
Anybody else I can pick on? Tom Campbell.
Tom Campbell. Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Tom Campbell. I sell health insurance services. The Affordable Care Act. I don't know who might be interested in talking about this, the effect on employment. I see a tremendous advantage to businesses under 50 to look into the subsidies that are available to some of your employees. So, as far as effect on employment, who wants to take that?
Anybody want to comment? It's a good comment. Very good. Thank you.
Well, I have a question for Chuck Mitchell too. You mentioned the mega site, and Mitsubishi recently acquired Hitachi, which so it's now called Mitsubishi Hitachi Power Systems. And then earlier last year, they acquired a division of Pratt & Whitney. So they appear to be poised for growth on their 120 acres. That leaves over 1,000 acres next door. Can you enlighten us as to what might be coming into that area, or some thoughts on how we can help that area to grow?
I can, because of course those are kept secret by CETA and the state. The state owns the mega site, which I don't know if most people realize at this stage, but CETA is the local steward. But the big news was several years ago they agreed to pursue a subdivision strategy for the mega site instead of keeping it as a major mega site, which I think adds dramatically the potential appeal in getting that site sold out in the near future instead of down the road. Certainly with what's happening in this market now, the expansion we're seeing in the manufacturing and industrial side, there's got to be a lot more suitors out there, and you know CEDA's working. So I expect we'll see some results here in 2014, certainly by 15.
Great. And if there's no other questions, Chuck, how about land sales out at Pula Parkway and I-16? Is that going to start growing back from that area back to Pula Parkway and 95? What's your thoughts on large tracts of land moving in that area?
As you know, land sales virtually came to a screeching halt. We had our first kick-out KB homes in 2007 at Savannah Quarters when I looked around and went, uh-oh. 7 years later, we are at the analogy I use right now. The banks took back a lot of properties, a lot of finished lots, and it's kind of like a turkey carcass 3 days after Thanksgiving. It's been pretty well picked over. So the national builders and local builders now are at the point where they've got to start developing lots. Of course, the biggest hindrance to that, and no offense, Rob, but is bank financing, because the banks aren't going to do any kind of speculative financing for lot development and speculative home construction. So the builders are they're doing one at a time, sell one, get a loan, or getting private equity to fund them. Private equity has moved into the market, and you are now seeing major tracts that have been sitting idle turning back over into new hands for development. The county is about done. So I think the next wave will be out there at Savannah Quarters, at East Haven, and in Westbrook, then out of New Hampstead, which was the other brand new IP project that's fully permitted with all the infrastructure in place in the brand new high school. So I think that's where you're going to see the growth happen.
Thank you. Rule?
Hello. As you know, as we all know, Savannah is growing, and there's a great increase of people coming into Savannah with the various diversities, and in the area of social needs. Has there been any measurement of a way to measure the social need of Savannah, the social services needs of Savannah? And in that area, what type of businesses might be needed?
Who is that question directed to?
Anybody that wants to jump in.
Can you repeat it? We heard the first part.
I spoke about Savannah is really made up of people, an influx of people coming in from everywhere and bringing with them their social needs, social problems. What has the city done or is looking at in that area? What can we think about in the area of business, in the area of social needs?
Are there any sort of entrepreneurial ideas of businesses that are coming forth to help people with social needs in the city of Savannah? Do y'all know of any? And if anybody wishes to comment, please do.
Do it.
I think we got somebody.
We started an organization, the Independent Learning Network. We homeschool children. We're a nonprofit. Education, as you know, in Savannah has many different issues. And so for children who need one-on-one instruction, we actually do that. That's a social need.
Thank you.
Oh, Jane Nangle back there. She's got it.
We were very interested in coming to this group and getting to know you because we started a new nonprofit to meet a social need in Savannah. I'm Jane Nangle. I'm the president of Reed House, which is a new nonprofit. And our objective is to take people with serious mental illness and put them in the mainstream workforce. And we've just been opened a year, and we're having some very good success with that. And the small businesses are the ones who will take these people. Marjorie's done it. A lot of people have done it, taken these people under their wing and helped them get a new start in life.
Thank you, ma'am.
The United Way, the local United Way of the Coastal Empire would be a great source to look and think about and find information about social needs. That's what they do. So I would recommend that you think about talking with the folks at the United Way.
Great answers. Ashley Ballersocks. I'd like to hear what benchmarks you liked. What comments do you have? Rule's got you right behind you. Tell everybody what you do.
Good afternoon, everybody. I run a business incubator and co-working office called Think Savannah, downtown 35 Barnard. We have about 60 plus or minus businesses in our space. We provide advice and opportunities for entrepreneurs and people who are starting out to get in touch with professionals and mentors. So I speaking for Think Savannah, really appreciate what SCORE is doing here. This is a very valuable resource, so thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, Christy, could you shed some light on the state of the development of the hotels on the north and the east end of River Street?
Yes, on the east end, that hotel development is underway. I don't have, I'm not in the middle of what's going on there, so I don't have current information, but I know it's underway and moving forward. On the west end, they're still in the beginning stages, but I believe, and there's going to be 2 hotels on that end. There's the Georgia Plant Riverside, which is the old Sepco plant, and then there's 412 Williamson. So I think both of those hotels are underway, and the city has an effort to possibly, there's planning efforts to do a staircase. The Montgomery Street right-of-way actually goes all the way down to River Street there. I don't know if anybody has seen that. We call it the goat path. It's about 18 feet of elevation difference, and it's this little path down. So there are planning efforts to work with both of those hotel developments and putting in that grand staircase along with an elevator for handicap access. So those are all in the planning stages.
Excellent. It's great to see the city, working in a public-private partnership and working with these developers, because for years, we wanted to see MLK grow, and if that project at Plant Riverside comes to fruition, it'll encompass 3 city blocks. So it'll move all the way from Martin Luther King, Montgomery, and Jefferson. So, and that'll give us more direct access to the river and more urban space. So it's great to see the city be proactive in that. So I think we're going to wrap it up. Are there any pressing question? If you've been sitting on that question, this is your last opportunity.
We want to thank everybody, all the speakers again. I want a round of applause for these wonderful presentations. Another wonderful, successful year. I hope to see you guys back here next year. We're going to double the size because most of us are small business owners. And again, thank you, Wells Fargo, for being our title sponsor. Thank you very much. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you.